Today is April 28th. The Yankees put up a bajillion runs, take games 2 and 3 from the Brewers to win the series and roll on into Baltimore. Let's talk Yanks.
Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD producing. Yankees, one of the more frustrating game ones we've had in a long time, and then two of the easier watches after that to win the series, throw up a ton of runs. Ultimately, it's all good and fun because they have a league leading, tied for the lead most wins in Major League Baseball. Jake, how are you doing?
James, Davis, everyone tuning in. I'm doing well. I think it's going to be an emotional episode. Like you said, Yankees with the most wins in baseball. Do they have the best record by percentage points? The Guardians have them. Yeah. Hello, young friend. Who's that?
Say hi.
That looks like you 30 years ago.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Oh my God. And I was just laughing, the talking Giants, talking football guys, Pennick, Justin Pennick and Bobby Skinner are both in the office, big NFL draft weekend. And we were having a good laugh about, man, if we got on the mics Friday night, would have been quite a different episode. Would have been, is this franchise failing themselves? And now we're talking about most wins in baseball. So ain't that baseball, baby?
Yeah, I did figure it out today as well, which is why it's not always the best thing to hop on the mics right away when your emotions are high, because I figured it out, Jake. That was the biggest message Boone ever sent. Like, hey, offense, we got no bullpen. You want to play close games? This is what you're going to have to deal with. Tonkin in the 10th. Put up some damn runs because there's no one that can save you out there. And the offense was like, all right, yeah, we don't want that to happen again either.
Yeah.
We'll hit. So it was actually great managing by Boone.
And I think KT Sharp got the shout out on the broadcast. Get ready for Sharp stats this week. But it was only the 5th time ever they've gone 15 runs in back-to-back games or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, the offense did something historic to answer after Friday night's kerfuffle. So that's where I said, it could be an emotional episode because we still have to talk about that and digest it a little bit. And man, dude, we talk a lot. And sometimes I just wonder, how much of this is just us barking into the ether? And sometimes are there good points and bad points? We've been talking about the bullpen a lot. It gets magnified on Friday night. I tell you to get ready for Big Mike Tonkin. I didn't think it would be like that. But then the offense goes and does that the rest of the weekend. So many guys that we were kind of worried about do some good. They shake up the lineup? Like, are you kidding me? Booney.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun Booney up, huh?
There's so many things that I want to deep dive and talk to him about that I think we're going to have to choose one because extra innings on the road. There's some crazy stats there. Yeah. The contact play, I was deep in the weeds doing that for maybe a Jimmy's Three Things episode or just the interview with Boone about why he said in his post game it's 50% of the time. It's not. So who's lying to him? Because Boone he's not calculating stats. Getting deep into it anyway. But yeah, that was the wild game. And then we have a position player pitch for the Yankees for the first time since 1784 in a win.
Yeah, that was that. I think that was another shot fired at the bullpen. Look at this.
Yeah.
Shots fired weekend.
Jake Bauers on the mound was gross.
Nasty. Clean.
Walking people.
Not to throw BBD under the bus. He He whispered, he goes, not that this matters, but I'm a Verdugo RBI away from hitting a pretty nice parlay. Bases loaded, position player.
One
pitching.
out.
Didn't happen. So that's pretty tough.
Verdugo 3-0 pitch. I think he didn't want, so he did not want a walk RBI against Jake Bauers. Like it was up and in. I don't know. He swung at it, popped it up.
That's baseball.
Kind of. Everyone seemed in fear of striking out versus that. So just get that in play.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit of groundskeeping.
Oh yeah, groundskeeping, dude. Groundskeeping's been pretty lame lately, but I'll groundskeep your butts up. John Birdie began a minor league rehab assignment in Double-A Somerset. I think today. I'm not sure how he performed. I'm not sure anyone listening cares, but he most likely won't be back for this Orioles series, although they could, because it's not like it would just be if they want to get him at bats, because the bench isn't much of anything right now. But he'll probably be back for the homestand after the Orioles series for sure. Birdie would be back. And that does help out a little bit, just flexibility in the infield. Canely tossed 15 pitches over a simulated inning in live batting practice. The first time he's done that, faced hitters since spring training. Boone said him and Canely were texting, and that Canely's very excited with where he's at. The other birdie on the mound, he was a really weird update. He's resuming playing catch, but basically some of the sentences Boone said were like, we're pretty worried about this one. He's got a long injury and new delivery and all that. DJ, nothing. 7 days of nothing for him. Garrett Cole played catch yesterday, might be able to resume tossing from a mound sometime after May 5th. And Dominguez is a few weeks away from playing in minor league rehab games. So that's fun. That puts him on pace for like a first week of June.
Is he in your head yet?
No, I was pretty upset that people acted like this was ahead of schedule, because that would have like been something that for me to be like, oh, I have to get him in my head. But this isn't ahead of schedule. I mean, if he starts minor league games 3 weeks from when Boone said that 2 days ago,
it puts him like in line for what the best case rehab was that we, but like in range that we had all off season.
Yeah, June 2nd or June 1st through 7th or something like that. Whatever the home series, away series lines up, puts him in range there, which is very exciting, but I can't think about that.
We got time to think about that. There's no need to think about that now. I think once I see him play a baseball game, then that'll light the lamp for me.
Yeah. I think it's very much wording there. Like Boone saying a few weeks, that triggers people's, it's glass half full, half empty. Right. That triggers people like, oh shit, that's close. But if he said like he'll start rehab a little under a month, people would be like, oh, okay. So it's just wording there because they're the same exact thing.
Yeah, both of those are 3 weeks.
Yeah, around 3 weeks-ish.
And I guess on DJ, like they said, like moving forward, it'll be a week-to-week, check-in. So it feels like we're back to square one on him a little bit.
I'm not going to be like a jerk, but DJ, I mean, he's got to be out of your brains more so than Dominguez.
Yeah.
For like until August or September. I mean, come on, read the tea leaves on this one, guys. This is
he's out of my brain until he's rehabbing again.
Yeah, how about this? I'll put them both in who's playing baseball.
Yeah.
DJ has to show he can play baseball. Maybe that's 2 weeks. Maybe that's August.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's the groundskeeping.
It's good shit, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well done.
Grounds better than the grounds creeping earlier.
It's because of the Dominguez one and the Canely one and Birdie playing. It's keeping.
Okay.
We've been close to creeping for a while.
Okay. Well, why don't the people go to SeatGeek? Go check out the actual groundskeepers. Because they put in work, man. Danny Cunningham might be the hardest working guy in the building. There's an argument, right?
Sure. I mean, his wife argues that.
There's probably someone on the grounds crew that outworks him, right? Like
whoever
the guy has to do stuff.
Yeah.
Whoever he tells to do shit.
Right.
I would hope.
Yeah.
Because Danny Cunningham's a thinking man. He's the manager.
He's up there in years now. But I'd like to think someone's outworking him. I guess let us know. I mean, the whole grounds crew listens to Talkin' Yanks. That's obvious.
as they pull. You think that's YMCA? That's us.
Go get your tickets from SeatGeek. Sure, you can watch baseball, but you could also watch the Groundskeepers. And that's what
you get to watch all of it.
That's what SeatGeek wants us to tell you. And with code YANKS10, and I think you might have to do this quick. I think this is up by the end of April. Code YANKS10 is 10% off any tickets at SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not. So this isn't new customers or a promotion like that. This is 10% off tickets. So go get them at SeatGeek. Download the app. It's so easy to use. I can use it. Code YANKS10. 10% off on SeatGeek. There's a link in the description. Download the app. Click around. Sometimes I just click around random games just to see, like, what's going on here.
Yeah, I'll put this into practicality. Ooh. Put this into real terms for some people at home so they can understand better.
Practicality?
If you plan on going to see the Yankees play in Baltimore and you haven't purchased your ticket yet, this will save you 10%, no matter what.
That's nice.
There's people out there listening that applies to. Applicable.
You've got 2.5 days left to get that 10%.
All right. You want to burn game one?
I could try it.
Burn. Jiggy burn.
I think I'll have myself a beer as the Yankees visit the Brewers for 3. How short is your last name? Heel versus Rhea. Get the start. S-O-T-O, Soto. And Verdugo's got that dog in him, too. Solo shots make it 2-0 Yanks. Ortiz and Perkins, attorneys at law. They show some fortitude and make it 4-2, but it's a Trent Grisham revenge series. Welcome to the team. 3-run yacker to make it 5-4 Yanks. It's a 5-5 for Heel. Mixed bag for Luis. Gives up 2 homers. Hadn't given one all year. Buenos Cantos, a Stantonian double. And it's time to back up the Tonkin truck. Big Mike gets blindsided. Yankee fans get blindsided as they lose 7-6 final in 11.
This game stunk, man. This game had me questioning things. I posted a Twitter video, my reaction, where I just said, what was that?
Yeah.
And then you hear Boone in the post game, and half of it is like, you're protecting your guys. I understand it. And the other half, there's reasonings and stuff, but I don't know. 10 pitches Clay, and they go to not Clay in the save situation. And I understand, Boone's postgame, he said, Clay's on pace for 80 appearances. I can't do this. So then it's appearances versus outings. It's only 10 pitches, but I've been public that I don't like the up downs they do to their relievers. So I can't. So he's kind of got me there. If it's don't overuse Clay, then that's fine. Don't use him, sit him, use him, because I do think that's not great. And the Yankees do that to their relievers a lot in the past, and they're hurt a lot. I don't understand Hamilton and Weaver and Gonzalez. They were all unused before Tonkin. Hamilton, he apparently told him he was hurting, he needed a day. So that was emergency only, the way Boone put it, which I guess his interpretation of that is no other pitchers available and the game continues. Tied in the 14th. He's saying emergency. What was the reasoning for Weaver?
Weaver threw 30 on Wednesday, and he's still transitioning out of starting pitcher, long reliever to reliever. I think if the game continued, I think Weaver and Gonzo were in play. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I know Clay has had the appearances, but again, we just added another appearance. It was quick, it was clean, and then I was laughing because they were like, well, Clay Holmes hasn't pitched 2 innings since the 2022 playoffs. And then I again, questioning the Yankees organization, I'm sitting there like, oh, so this is, we don't believe in it unless it's one of the most important games of the year, and then we will push that button, which for me is one of those, there's some mental gymnastics there that I don't know. It either feels like Clay should be available for the 2 innings with everything going on, or, being the road team, why didn't they go to Victor Gonzalez in the 9th? And I don't know if they're hesitant. He blew a game earlier this week, and they were thinking, hey, maybe if Clay shuts this down, the boys could put up a big number and someone will come end the game. But whatever they were hoping happened, it was kind of the reverse situation of that.
It's just, if you know that, if you're looking at the 9th inning and you're like, who's available? And you know that you're not using Weaver, Gonzo, or Hamilton because of rules and not burning out. And you say, okay, it's Clay and Tonkin. Then, and this is what Boone said, then you let Santana go.
You got to let someone go.
Or you have to do the math earlier to let Santana or Ferguson get more bullets. And that's what Boone said. Maybe I should have let them go more so Clay could have got 4 outs. But Santana threw 12, Ferg threw 14. We're not looking at big lifts from anyone there.
Right.
If you know you're 3 guys short, why are we pulling them so early in a tie game?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think Boone would admit that, because it's kind of weird. He sends Heel out, to start, what was it, the 6th inning because Gary was coming up. And basically he's trying to, Heel's basically done at that point, that he's trying to steal one more out from Heel because Terang's on deck, the lefty. That I don't know. It's Heel, they tried to stretch out for one more out. Everyone in the bullpen, they did not. I mean, you mentioned Santana, but Ron throws 15, Santana 12, Ferg 14, Clay 10. That, yeah, I don't know, man. The whole thing felt bizarre because when you put Michael Tonkin out in that situation, it's horribly rude to Michael Tonkin. It's kind of like you, me, Joe's, BBD, all the Yankee fans listening to this. I think there's a lot of confusing thoughts. Like
my biggest thing, all the bullpen usage, you're in tight spots in the regular season when you're trying to save guys. Clay's on pace. I can get over some of that for kind of easily. Some stuff, it's like a baseball discussions I want to have with Booney and see if he'll actually talk. Okay, you pinch hit Stanton, he comes through with that double. And then you pinch run, and now you got Trammell on second. Bunt. Volpe can bunt. Get him to third. Being the away team in extra innings is a sack bunt, sack fly competition to score a run and then put pressure on the other team that they have to at least score 1 run as well. And they're not going to do that because they can't afford to hit into outs when they are losing. They need to hit for, that's kind of what this is. The Yankees, since the Manfred man has existed, are the worst team in extra innings as a road team. Because they do not buy into that philosophy at all. They're the best team when they're the home team. I wonder if Boone knows that and considers it 2 different strategies when you're the away team or the home team. I don't think they do, and I don't think he'll admit it, but I wonder if he knows those facts. Because once you get that run from Stanton pinch hit, great. You have to bunt to get the next guy over so you can go up 2 on an out.
Yeah,
especially with Soto and Judge coming up who can do that.
I think the only counter is that, again, the bullpen strategy, depending where you want to land on it, if they had already mentally decided, which they had, if you heard Tonkin's post-game interview, he got told in the 9th that if it goes extras, he's going into the 10th. So with that decision being had already made, I think the Yankees were trying to go for as big an inning as possible. I think they were hoping that Volpe would put something in the gap that would line up Judge and Soto. So depending where you line up with that bullpen decision-making, I think that led to the Volpe not bunt.
True. Yeah. And then the other is the contact play, just running on contact no matter what and getting out at home. It has not worked. I went through all the data points. The Yankees have, I don't know, I can pull this up. I'm going to do a video on it somewhere else. The Yankees have the second most outs at home on balls hit to the infield when the infield is shifted in, corners in or infield in. They've run into the most just easy outs at home, or second most besides the Dodgers. And it's a 38% that they score. So it's not 50-50.
Yeah, I wonder if it's 50-50 around the league, but because the Yanks are not athletic.
I think those. So I was doing this forever. I tracked all the numbers, and I think it's 50-50 when you take runs that don't matter as much. So you take like up 4 the 5th run, and they'll give you they'll just won't even throw home because the numbers get increasingly. But when I kept narrowing it down to, okay, the run ties the game or the run takes the lead.
Right.
What is it in those situations? And it's not a 50-50. It's mostly if you run on contact, you're out.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of other times where they'll just go get the out at first. When they see the runner going and they go, nah, not worth it. A 3-run lead, 4-run lead, down 3, down 4, not worth not getting this out. But when that run fucking means a ton, mostly outs.
Yeah, I guess I would be curious how many of those are more difficult plays, because that's what you're also taught as an infielder, because they could put that on their side. Like, you know, if you knock a ball down but it's not clean. We said this with, what was it, Glaber the other day, that knocked one down and then he bobbled it, that like, hey, you got to go get an out. So I don't know. I'm interested to see more.
I have that. What's the,
well, you saying that they're okay giving up the run, I wonder, and like you're not counting those numbers, you said. Just how many of those, if they were cleaner plays, they would have gone home with it?
So the numbers I have are they go home with it.
Right. Yeah. I'm saying
because when it's tied or not tied, when the game is going to be tied or not going to be tied, they go home with it.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm aligned on that.
So the numbers get to 50-50 when you go to other chances where they won't.
Right.
Go home with it.
Right.
So that's like what's allowing them to think it's a better risk play.
Okay.
But in situations where 100% you need to stop that run, it's more than not stop.
Percentages go down. That makes sense.
Yeah. And Rizzo's actually scores a lot. I think he's an imposing figure or something. Like he's induced the most for the Yankees.
Look at that.
It just sucks to see because like the next pitch can be a pass ball, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I think the base running clientele, like before this season, we went up and down the roster, and you know who has speed, like who has speed as a trait of their game. Like you could even argue, you know, Alex Verdugo is not like a speed MLB player, and in the starting lineup, is he the second fastest guy?
From 21 to 24,
Soto.
Arizona is the best at this.
They're a really good base running team.
The worst of the Dodgers, they're really bad. They've scored 3 out of 13 attempts when they just run on contact.
It's not good.
Yeah.
I think going back to the relief side of it, you said it at the start. The Yanks showed their hand a little bit. I think with Hamilton either hurt or in a funk. I mean, the Yankees have one good reliever right now, and it is Clay. So I think they're just handling him with as much kid gloves as possible. I think that's the answer.
Yeah, which, again, there's some stuff. I think it didn't have to go down that way, but when Boone was answering his questions, and he was like, he said, like, quote, "Have you seen what's going on with our bullpen right now? I can't afford to lose Clay." Like, he almost said that, not word for word, but that was what he said. Like, we got a lot of guys down. I can't afford to lose Clay. Like, I am not pushing him. So, and honestly, you have to respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that bullpen, I don't know. Score 15.
Score 15 runs. That's what you got to do. Good news. The next game.
Yeah.
Game number 2.
Yankees would hope to get a win for less shopping against Ross and the Brewers. Baby Carlos Rodon would hope the Yanks had no hangover from the night before. Top 1, who let the dogs out? Who? Verdugo cleans up a 3-run homer from the cleanup spot. Glaber orders 3 RBI of his own with the bases clearing double. Yanks put up 4 in the 4th. Looks like a pre-K class learning how to write with all these crooked numbers on the scoreboard. The former Big 3, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, they all homer. Rodon was good. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 8 Ks. Weaver sets up Trevino, not Lou. Jose. Yanks win 15-3 final.
They sure did.
Yeah.
It's a good game. They roll out the new lineup. Verdugo to the cleanup spot. Rizzo down. And I think Nelson said it on like the game 1. Or did we say it to each other? Or did Curry say it in the post game? I heard it said.
Okay.
Probably by many people said it at home. Like the only 2 guys they got doing stuff right now are Soto and Verdugo, and they're too far away in the lineup to build off each other. Now, does anyone know who I heard say that? Was it you? Was it Nelson?
I'm gonna lean Nelson.
Okay, I'm gonna lean Nelson as well.
Because yeah, I mean, I was team. Don't be afraid to shake up the lineup when things aren't working, but I don't think I was pair Doogie and Soto.
Okay, yeah, because we had been talking about it, but yeah, that it kind of clicked in my head differently when I heard that. They're the only 2 going, and it's kind of true that we're really good against righties right now. The Yankees are really good against righties. All the lefties build. Like if you look at lineups, I think game 1, every lefty had a home run besides Rizzo or besides Oswaldo. Grisham, Soto.
Oswaldo doesn't have a side.
Yeah, but the lefties have similar games is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So like when they face righties, you need the good lefties all up. They need to be able to feed off each other because the super spread isn't working. Almost like what they do with Stanton against righties. You could try to do that against or Stanton against lefties. Anyway, the lineup switch is the big move here. Pays off immediately with the 3-run home run in the first.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that stands out. It goes 3-0. Verdugo first time in the cleanup spot. It's funny. I feel like Verdugo doesn't know what to do with his personality yet. Like, Verdugo's just bubbling with personality, and he's definitely gotten the Yankees PR like, hey, this is the Yankees. Just like, don't tread softly. Shackle interviewed him before the game. Shout out to our friend Justin Shackle. And Shackle was like, I'm standing here with cleanup hitter Alex Verdugo. How you feeling about it, Doogie? And he had like a big smile, like, he wanted to say, I'm hyped, bro. Like, I'm hitting cleanup for the Yankees. Let's go. And he came in and he's like, well, it's, the at-bats have to be good either way. And then he started cracking a little more and he's like, but it's pretty cool. And it's like, yeah, man, let that eat more.
Maybe he didn't know. Remember when Bader had no idea?
God, I don't think about that team.
Okay.
Yeah. Go Mets, though. Good walk-off today.
ALCS, man. They were winners.
Yeah. Enough of that.
Trevino comes in, debuts the knuckleball. Very funny. The broadcast missed when it happened, which I wish they caught on because it was after the second out, you saw Trevi go to Wellesley and go like, yo, on the mound. It was very cute.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then they didn't do it first pitch, and then Wells called for its second pitch. It danced,
yeah.
But Nelson and Kay were just kind of blowout. They were just kind of talking, and then he threw back to back and got the ground out. That was a fun moment. So Rodon to Weaver to Trevino. How about that?
Yeah. And again, I think it's probably a lot of people don't care, but the Yankees, we were on this a little bit. The Yankees fought position players pitching so hard for a while before IKF.
Yeah, especially in wins.
Like, they refused, and the fact that I think this is how scared they are for innings down there, like, that they were kind of like, we need this.
It did say that Stan hitting the big home run against their position player, 3-run shot, is what changed it for Boone. If it was only a 10-run lead, he was going to not do the position player pitching. But, I mean, Trevi got worked.
Yeah. That's what Jake Bowers, who gave the Yankees the business today, we were saying, you know, he had that kind of wry smile after because he didn't give up an earned run, and we were talking about how many position players dream of that moment, because they do, and then you get it, and then 7 out of 10 times you just get rocked for 10 minutes, and that's not as fun than
and like anytime you get to do it, it's because your team's probably having a bad time. The times guys get to do it in a win like Trevi did are rare.
Well, the youngins might not even remember, but pitchers, position player pitching from way back in the day, like when Nick Swisher did it, it wasn't what you just saw in the last 2 games. They weren't like, don't hurt yourself, just throw 57. Like, position players would come out and they would try to pitch.
Yeah.
Like, they would throw like 80-mile-per-hour fastballs like they were throwing it around the infield, and then try to throw some stupid curve like what they used to do in high school. But now, because that's obviously not smart. But it used to be more exciting to me because you'd be like, oh, let's see it.
Well, dude,
now,
also
the lob fest stinks.
Wade Boggs threw an actual knuckleball. Trevi had an actual knuckleball. They waited till they had 2 outs to be like, okay, you can throw one now, kid. And it's like
Verdugo was giving him shit in the post game, and so did Trev. He's like, yeah, I should have gotten to it earlier. It's like, yeah. You don't want to walk people. That's the biggest issue.
No, but
so I think the opening walk, he was like,
yeah, that does harpoon it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Like, what happened that needs to be talked about in this game?
Well, the biggest moment of the game was the Glaber at bat. I don't know if that's getting talked about later or not, but and Rodon obviously had a really good outing.
Yeah.
But I think Glaber got the post game interview, and in that 3rd inning, double by him was a big moment for the game itself, to go from 3-1 to 6-1 in the 3rd inning, but also for Glaber, the player.
Yeah. I mean, outdid his season RBIs, really opened up the game too. Like, as we saw today, 3-0 in baseball isn't crazy. 6-1 is.
Yeah. All right. Game 3, Jake. Are we going to have a fun podcast app and they erase all the bad from game 1, or do we get to dig back into game 1 misery? A rubber match brought to you by Jake Strawberry.
Rubber and beer. No, it's not NASCAR. It's the rubber match versus Milwaukee. Marcus would try to be the Stro Man for New York, while Tobias Myers would try to bring the Funke for the Crew. Guess who's back? Back again. Judge is back. Tell a friend. 441 to left. Ooh, baby. And then one captain to the next. Volpe Parmesan's one to right center. It's 4-0 Yanks. Stro was cruising. He goes 4-4. That gets him roughed up by old friend Jake the Rake Bowers like a good night out. We're tied up at 4. So it's basically 0-0, but the Yanks won the rest of the game 11-1. An Aaron Judge block shot leads to a fast break. 7 runs in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Everyone is involved on it. Brewers fans are so mad at us and salty. They may be right. They may be crazy, but I don't care. Yankees put up another 15 spot. Stroman to Ron to Hammy to Tonkin to Ferg to Gonzo. Oh my God. Yanks win 15-5, and they take 2 out of 3 from the Brew Crew.
You may be right. I may be crazy. I just might be a lunatic. Are we doing Billy Joel themed awards? I didn't know. I didn't prep that.
I mean, you
I prepped
tell
Sound
me.
of Music. I prepped Sound of Music awards, so I can pivot. We need. Yeah, this was a good game in a rubber match, and then Judge blocked the ball, and the took a different course. So yeah, sorry, Brewers fans, that stinks, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, non-Yankees fan me is like, come on, Blue, come on. But Yankees fan me is like, oh, it happens to everyone. Sucks.
Yeah, and I mean, it turns into a classic case of, all right, also don't give up all of the following runs, because they load them up the next inning, and that could have been a lot more interesting. But yeah, and that interference is in such a weird spot with the game. Lindor had one this weekend. There's been a few around the plate that I don't know what the call is going to be. And I don't know. I think with going into second, let's just make a better rule around it, because it is natural to throw an arm up. Like when you're running and slide, it is a natural
It's like what you're
thing
taught
to do. That I don't know. Should it be one arm? Should that be the rule? It's also funny that it's the biggest man in the game, that almost anyone else's arm would not have been hit by that. So I don't know. Sorry, Brew Crew.
I think it sucks he's wearing a glove.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
that's
think
his bare hand and it gets hit. I don't think he's doing this really. I mean, Judge is 100% throwing his arms up to get big and make the fielder think I got to throw around his arms, because that's what you're taught to do. And a lot of every baseball player besides Jeff McNeil in the Mets does. And then the fielder is taught, if he's in your way, just throw it at him. I remember when Posada took a ball off the fucking nose,
Right.
Because he didn't get out of the way. And the fielder was like, that's where I'm throwing it. Sorry. And Posada just didn't blink. So him right in the nose. That was awesome. Mike Medvin, find that clip. I haven't seen that since it happened.
Okay.
Please find that. And yeah, it's umpires just botched that one, in my opinion.
I don't know the rules.
And
The rule is if you do something to impede the play, it's interference.
Right, outside of a natural slide, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's a natural slide.
I kind of think it is.
Andy
I don't
Fletcher after the game said,
For the
that they
hand with
got
a
the
pad
call
to be
wrong.
the one that's the highest and that high, I don't think so.
I'm open. I'm normally not a rules guy. I'm open to more rules on it.
Yeah, I think there is a rule. I just think it's a judgment call, and the umpires had different judgment than what majority of the umpires would have there. I don't think they saw it.
Yeah.
And then you can't review judgment calls.
Yeah. What'd you say, Beebs?
They talked to crew chief Andy Fletcher after the game. He said, on the field, we got together and did the best we could to come up with the correct answer. After looking at it on replay, it appears that the call was missed. It was an unnatural part of his slide.
Hey, Fletcher, that's amazing
Honest.
that umpires are honest and saying sorry and shit.
How about that? Not last week.
No, but apparently Hunter Wendelstedt's in trouble, according to a source that someone posted that was a Spanish website that I translated.
Okay.
So he's done.
Where are you getting your news?
Someone posted the Yankees subreddit, and there was like, MLB's actually going to punish Hunter Wendelstedt. And they talked about how he's probably not getting any like all-star or any playoff games. Like like MLB's mad. That's a big, like, nope, we can't have that.
Interesting.
But it
to
was an
see.
article that was originally in Spanish that Google translated, and it was very broken and not real. So
Okay.
I'm reporting from the
concern.
unreliable source.
Okay.
And the ending of Shogun was underwhelming.
Damn.
Oh,
I wasn't gonna get there.
No, it's so much reading.
Yeah. I haven't
Yeah.
even. I've got like 4 episodes of Succession, and I just never finished it.
Yeah.
Watched what, 5 seasons of a show, and then just get to the finish line, and
I never seen the final episode of Game of Thrones.
so pathetic. That's a
Yeah, we
pride.
just
That's a
know that
pride
one's
thing.
bad.
This is just weird laziness.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the whole last season, kind of like I don't like this,
Right.
So then I was like, ugh.
I like Succession.
You gotta watch it.
Just gotta watch it.
It's too long. Watch on your phone on the train. Download it.
Never downloaded a show to my phone. Again, it's a cycle of dumb.
Okay.
You download it?
Yeah, a lot of the apps have like an option. You just download it, then you can watch it offline. Like before you go on a plane, you just hit the download button on Netflix or Prime or
Okay.
Apple TV or HBO Max would be Succession.
Yeah.
I've never pulled that off, but I know it's an option.
I don't
Oh, yeah,
have
I do
any
it.
of those apps on my phone.
Well, you don't watch shows.
I do. I just watch them on the TV at home. I guess I'm an old school guy.
Yeah, you don't watch Prime. You have Prime on your phone. Watching games.
I'm usually in front of the TV.
Oh.
And the Prime app never worked on the phone at first. Remember that? So Prime games I had to make like at home guaranteed watching. But it did get better. I remember
think
that.
You have
I
to
think
you have
that's
to
just the first
allow
couple
like
of them.
watch without Wi-Fi is like a setting. You have to like click or one something.
It's
on
good
it.
now, but the first like half of the year.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Well,
Okay.
I'm big on that. I watch a lot of shows, but I watch them on like the plane or the
Right.
train. Service is bad, so I'll just download
Download
it.
'em.
Apple TV is great at it.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yep. And if you got kids, you have to do it on the plane because you have to preload the iPad
Right.
with shows. So you got to go into all the apps, download all of the fucking
Whatever
shows.
they
Sense.
might want to watch.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's game 3. Let's move it on to the second half of the show where we give out awards.
Yeah.
They brought to us by anyone?
Jam, they sure are. LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
LinkedIn, if you're a small business and you're hiring, LinkedIn is where you want to be. LinkedIn has all the professionals. Think about this. I'm going off the page. If you're looking for people to hire, you're looking for professionals in that field. Where are the professionals? They're on LinkedIn. We've got LinkedIn pages. I'm on there. Send the request. I'm big on LinkedIn. And if you're hiring, LinkedIn is the place you want to be looking. 86% of small businesses. That's a high clip. We'd be sending that runner from home if that was the clip we were getting. 86% get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Come on. These guys should write burns. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Yanks. That's linkedin.com/Yanks to post your job for free. There's a link in the description. Go check out LinkedIn. Befriend me.
Befriend Jake.
Mm.
My pride of the Yankees, and I don't want no shit from nobody.
Okay.
It's Verdugo.
Okay.
The lineup switch and then the immediate, don't worry, I gotcha.
Mm.
Immediate. No qualms. You need power from the cleanup spot. 3-run homer to start it off. That filled me with pride. Gets put in that position, steps up to the plate. We're always so worried about Volpe, everyone moving up. Oh, can he handle it? Right away. Shut up. I gotcha. I hit a home run yesterday. I'll just hit another today. 2 first-inning home run or first at bat of the game home runs for Verdugo. Makes some plays in left that I think are going rather unnoticed.
Yes.
Because he makes them look easy. Judge had a quote after the game, said, I told him he's the best left fielder I've ever played with besides Gardner. That's what Judge said. Besides Gardner, pretty nice of him. But, Verdugo doesn't have a reputation, or he does kind of, but because he played right field, when the trade happened, people were saying, can he play left? And it's like, yeah, right's the harder to play. He also went to center
Played
field
a lot
in
left.
some of these games and made some plays. But I do think the defense is getting a little underappreciated, even though just because it's there and it's happening, but it is nice. He does track balls down pretty well. Tracked one down, was it today or yesterday, to his right down the line?
To the line, yeah. He really good footwork to slow himself down. He was full tilt. A lot of guys would kind of keep that speed up and kind of catch the ball behind him. He almost, not to a complete stop, but it was perfect. He timed it perfectly. And yeah, I mean, he's gone over to center in 3 games now. Think about how much we talked about getting Judge off his feet, and how much are we going to see? Is Trent Grisham a starter versus lefties this year? I mean, he's kind of been put in the rear view, except this series. Let's go, Trent. Revenge. Verdugo's been great. Like I said, you heard on the broadcast, I think it was Kay that said that his personality has also brought something to the team. And analytically, that's something that's hard to measure, but if you know anything about sports, that matters. And it's going to CC talking about Canely back on those previous Yankee teams. Like, Verdugo's changed the whole energy of the team. We're barking, we're peeing on bases, we're woofing around the bases when we hit homers. He's a really good baseball player, like all around.
I agree.
Good pick.
Thank you.
Good pick. Hey, it's been a lefty episode. Let's keep it. I'm going Tony Riz, man.
Nice.
We were all asking questions about Anthony. And man, because there was some bizarre stuff. The defense at the start of the year, which, knock on some wood, we really haven't seen too much of that in a little bit. And he's brought power. He's swinging a powerful stick. That's what Anthony Rizzo is supposed to be doing. Like, even when Riz first came over and the batting average was a little lower than we expected, because we were like, oh, maybe it shifts, or maybe it's, just father time a little bit. The power should still be there, especially a swing built for Yankee Stadium. And man, he goes 7 for 13, 2 homers in this series. When he swung and hit them, like, this is how weird of a spot I got to with Rizzo. Like, we used to know. Like, when Rizzo leaned back and hit one good, you'd be like, ooh, that's a homer. Was still very unsure. These balls get out. He looks good. He loves hitting in Milwaukee. It's his 300th homer, and that was a good reminder. The 161st person to hit 300 home runs, and it's like, wait, this guy is like an all-time baseball player that I don't know. Between watching him play concussed ball and his slow start to the season, it's really refreshing to see this.
The 300th home run, and I'm reading into this, obviously, and I could be wrong or not, but my interpretation of the scenes in the dugout was that obviously it means something, was that like he knew it was coming. It might have been like sitting on it, not. You could tell by Judge and the others' reaction, like they knew it was a moment. Or sometimes I'm not aware that he might be sitting there chasing it. If a guy hasn't hit a homer for the season, like Glaber, that like when he hits one,
yeah,
it's going to be like a relief, and
probably
he's going to ask
silent
for the
treatment.
ball, silent. It's going to be a thing. This had like a little feel of oh, they all knew, and I thought that was kind of cool, and also just like a little insight into like maybe there was a little more stress or something going on. I don't know. Reading into it more than I should, obviously, but to me it was just like a little moment. And there was another moment in Game 3 today on Sunday where a ball was a hot shot to him, kind of ate him up. He stopped it, then he had to scramble after it to get it. And in my head, I said, I think it's been like 3 series. I think it's been since that Toronto series where we've seen a real gaff out of Rizzo at first. Kind of just like what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Because we had seen like 5 in the 6 games before that. Unless anyone else has some, let me know in the comments, or if you or Beebs have any. But I think we haven't seen any true gaffes in a little bit.
No, it's felt good. He looked like Anthony Rizzo. He gets slid down the lineup, but this spring we talked about we talked about Stanton a little bit. If guys aren't looking good, are they going to be willing to slide down? Some of these veterans with, the back of their baseball cards are special. Like, and you were noting, the Yankees are really hesitant to do that because they're thinking about the guys. So the fact that they did that, and the fact that Rizzo, if Rizzo goes 0 for 12 or something, obviously everyone hit this series, but then that becomes the story. So the fact that he does this, and man, the 300 homers, 161st, not only was it a reminder, like, who Rizzo is in baseball. Like, he's a god in Chicago forever. We're just kind of like renting his final like good years. And it made me realize, like, holy shit, Stanton's so good. Like, he's got a lot more.
Yeah. That's true. Stan's really good.
And that's you.
And that's true. Little Dicky.
Believe Rizzo's OPS for the season is up to 787.
Up to a good start to the year.
787.
Like this will be remembered as good April. Solid April.
Verdugo, 804.
Yep.
Soto, 998.
It's good.
What's league average? I'll find
I know
it.
it's pretty low right now.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I can find that real quick. It's like 690. Yeah, 693 is what Rizzo came into today with, and he had a 100 OPS plus entering today.
I have it as 700, or is that just on the
I think historically it's around there. Maybe that's some ballpark adjusted is what I'm looking at. Rizzo coming in today had a 693, and that was a 100 on Baseball Reference. But
Before today, Baseball Reference has the league average as 241 batting average, 315 on base, 385 slugging, and 700 OPS.
all around it.
Yeah.
That's a reminder that we judge people on top 10% of players and not league average. Because if you show me a guy with a 241, 315, 385, I'm not like, yeah, he's good, but he's very close to being above average.
Right. Yeah, I mean, those are Oswaldo with a good day today just ticked up to slightly above average.
He's 719, yeah. Trevino has an above average OPS. Everyone out of the starters, everyone is above average on OPS besides Glaber right now. Damn.
Back-to-back 15 spots helps.
It sure does, but it's still
Yeah.
funny that like we were probably pretty close to this before, but we were just down on the offense, which is still like, it just needs to click, and it did for 2 days. So
we were 2.5 big days away from this.
All right. The next award we go here is the
You Yankee motherfucker.
That's true. That's the award that we give out. And
Yankees are now second in the AL in runs scored.
30 in 2 games.
Helps.
Dude, MFer. What's this about? No way. Are there obvious ones that I should?
I mean, it's tough because there was only one game lost.
Yeah, and I gave it to Heel a couple days, like after his last start. I don't want to give us personally. I don't want to give a starter every start or his last 2 starts. I'll go Tonkin.
Come on. Come on.
What?
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Take that back.
I'm looking at stat lines. He blew the loss.
2 2/3 innings, 0 earned runs this series.
Jake, do you know that he's pitched in up until this point?
Yeah.
Up until the Tonkin appearance for the Yankees, he had appeared in 6 games in the Major League Baseball this season. And half of those games, or now half of them, so 2 of the 6 games were extra inning losses
It's
where
tough.
they used him in extra innings and the team lost. So when the game plan's being built, how does he not raise his hand and go, Boone, I know you don't know me that well. We're just meeting, but I've kind of been blowing games in extra innings. I don't know if this is going to work out. You say he's got confidence and he believes in himself and he's got the abilities. Sure. But one thinks maybe hand up.
Jim.
Not me.
Big Michael Tonkin is 34 years old. He's a 6'7" redhead.
He looks like the guy who is like a church pastor who is like the leader, but just kind of over it and like driving the van of all the little church kids, but kind of like he's very happy and fun. They love him, but like then the camera pans to his face and there's just a hint of like intense sadness.
He's too tall naturally. He's a big facial hair guy. He had to shave his beard, so now he's a mustache man. Did you hear the fun fact from today? He had an NYC place to live because he was on the Mets, and then he got rid of it. So you mentioned
That's sad. Why are you bringing up sad stuff?
Because you mentioned Rizzo with like a lot on his mind with his 300th homer. Tonkin doesn't know where he's sleeping.
He's first pitch was a pass ball because Trevi's never seen his stuff.
Which, like, I think that's kind of a flex for Tonkin. Like, yeah, that bad boy moves.
Hand up. Boone, I don't know. I've been having a tough time in extra innings this year.
He ends up on the Yanks, and he's doing the post-game presser. And, dude, we've seen it at winter meetings now. Like, we've talked about it a lot, but seeing Aaron Boone's press conference next to Quattraro for Kansas City's, it was a comedy show. It was literally 2.5 beat reporters to, like, what, 20? And he's got lights.
I was sitting at Quattraro's section for that.
Quattraro had
Like I was taking up a seat.
Boone had like 40.
Yeah, I was going to say, I came in light there. And
no, it was right after Arson Judge. He had like a ton.
I'm looking at Michael Tonkin with cameras and lights in his face, and he's just like, why is anyone even talking to me? And he handled it pretty well. It's tough, but I've always said a Yankee MFer is kind of a welcome to the family, so I'm proud of both of you.
Dude, it's pretty funny he pitched in both series. So the Mets used him.
Oh, my God.
And he pitched in the same series against the Tigers, two games in the series, then they DFA'd him. Then the Twins picked him up, and he pitched against the Tigers again. And the Tigers have rocked him all 3 times. Then he goes back to the Mets, and they use him against the Dodgers in back-to-back games in the same series, then get rid of him. And now the Yankees have picked him up and used him twice in the same series and will probably DFA him. So he's just going to move around the league just being like, I'll pitch 2 out of the next 3 games for you.
He's pitched now 8 games. 3 are against the Brewers, 3 are against the Tigers, and 2 are against the Dodgers.
So when I mean I was paying attention in Groundskeeping, but when's a pitcher coming back?
Off the IL?
Like, when would someone kick Big Mike off the team?
Do they want Poteet to start tomorrow?
Yeah, Poteet, Morris.
Jake Cousins is down there.
Anyone on the 40-man that is fresher for tomorrow against the Orioles. I would guess they pitched him tonight in Game 3 because they know they're getting a fresher arm against Baltimore.
I'm interested to see. It's probably right. I'm wondering if he's got a little cockroach in his game.
Boone was sad that he had to take him out of Game 3. He was like, dude, you were supposed to.
Yeah, what was that?
He was supposed to pitch this inning.
Why'd they take him out?
Because he was supposed to get out of the inning. Instead, he was through 20 pitches. And he threw 27 2 days ago. So now Boone's morals are kicking in. Like, hey, I don't want to hurt this dude as a rental for us. So you're out.
20 pitches.
Give up 2 hits.
Baseball's changed.
Who's your MFer?
I think they also wanted to get Caleb some work because he hasn't looked good.
Caleb's stuff doesn't look great.
I think that was part of it.
Get him a low leverage spot.
My MFer, huh? Oh, I'll take Hill. Yeah. There's going to be days when you give up runs. He gives up his first 2 home runs on the year, which that's, is what it is. Like, you're especially a guy that kind of throws fastball with that kind of velo around the zone. At certain points, you're going to get clipped. We were texting about it. The body language, man. I know you're a young guy, and I know you've got all the talent in the world, but, like, you know, when he gives up the double to Gary, he gets pulled. Ron goes out, but it's a sac fly. And Hill gave kind of the reaction you don't want your starting pitcher to give. Like, he kind of gave the, like, and it's like, come on, man. So I don't know. It's something to watch. Like, we saw it with the umpires back in that Toronto start. I don't know. Like, you're gonna get hit in this league. I know you're a young guy. Your stuff's electric. I don't know. Didn't love it.
I'll hype up my dude Jabba, the most exciting rookie ever in 2008. But for those that weren't around when that happened, or you were too young, Jabba was electric when he got called up. 2007, mind you. Sorry. And the storyline was that he hadn't given up a home run for a long time. His first 12 games did not give up a home run. It was kind of a storyline that would be building. He goes and pitches against the Red Sox, and I believe who clipped him? Someone clipped him. Tomlin or Lowell. It was one of those old dudes. Clipped him, and there was a famous shot at the time where Jabba grabbed the new ball from Posada and just went like this. Just whatever. And it was cool. It was a moment where, like, the streak was ruined, but you were actually more proud of Jabba, or more like even fucking in on him afterwards, because he just shrugged it off. I mean, how old was Jabba when he made his debut? 20 years old?
20
he was young.
would be my
21.
guess.
21. He's 21 years old. And yeah, not saying it relates to your skill or your performance or anything, but it's more fun to watch. And he'll just like kind of a sloper. Just the shoulders kind of go in, and you can just see him, like, I don't know, just get like mentally beat.
Yeah. And, like, you know, you mentioned Jabba in that story is 21. Like, Heel's 25, turns 26 in June. Those are different ages. So for me, again, because Heel, you know, this is his first real MLB season. Like, if you remember in 2021 when he was getting called up, he kept getting 27th man, so he, like, wasn't even on the team. Like, the whole thing was kind of ridiculous. And then he gets hurt. So, like, hey, it's kind of the young guy, old guy rule. Like, you know, you can kind of do everything once, but if you do that, you know, kind of don't do it again. So it's just something to watch for.
And that was Jake's something to watch for.
Old.
Moving on to the next. What?
Old. I called us old.
Regular awards.
Jim, they're brought to you by BetterHelp, because this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if your social battery, if you're getting busted up, I feel that sometimes. Maybe therapy can be something that works for you. Maybe to find the right amount of socializing, or how to recharge properly. Maybe the people around you, or maybe just some alone time. Therapy can give you the self-awareness to help build a social life that doesn't drain your battery. And the best part with BetterHelp, everything is online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Yanks today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Yanks. There's a link in the description.
Regular awards. I'm going to give out the Just in Time award.
Is that a name, or is that 3 words?
3 words.
Okay, just in time. I'm going to guess Gleyber Torres for his RBIs by the end of the month of April.
A decent guess, but incorrect.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, decent guess, Jake. Don't get down on yourself.
It's funny people say that seriously.
You got to be horse shitting me.
You got to be really frustrated. I mean, there's times I get frustrated, but to really let one of those eat.
It goes to Aaron Judge.
Whew, okay.
Because last series, there were signs in game 2 of like the swing looking better and coming around. Then game 3, then the last game of the series, it looked better. I still wasn't that worried. Then Friday, he looked bad in the loss to the Brewers. Last 2 games, man, he really found something. Like his last hit to right on his line drive to right was a really nice piece of hitting where it looked like his timing was actually perfect. So I do think that I liked what I saw. He changed his walk-up music back to Pop Smoke. He found the bat he wants to use. Maybe Verdugo behind him is helping him out. He misses his good friend Anthony. He wants him back. He didn't like being sandwiched between the Anthonys, maybe. He didn't like that at all. Aaron Anthony? No, it was Soto. So whatever. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, they go to Camden Yards. Guess what Judge does really well? He hits the ball at Camden Yards really well. So just in time to catch a little bit of a hot streak right now. Let's go take it into Baltimore, where he loves to hit, where we have a really good team, even though they just lost the series to the A's, but a really good team waiting for us. They got that wall that's deeper, trying to contain him. So I like that. He's got the oppo swing approach going. The last 2 seasons, 2022 and 2023, he had a .438 batting average, both seasons in Camden Yards. He has a 1 OPS 4 straight seasons in Camden Yards. In 2020, 1.8. In 2021, 1.3. In 2022, 1.5. In 2023, 1.6. So heating up just in time for a big series in Baltimore. Aaron Judge.
An American Family Field in Milwaukee, that's his highest OPS at any ballpark, 1.76. If you remember when we do our documentary one day, they shout out to the Brewers. They kind of saved the Judge home run race. Like they started giving them some cookies there that really fueled it towards the end. So yeah, I hope he builds on that. And it sounds dumb, but it looked right. It looked like Judge. Like he got around on that ball. It was a fastball that was kind of on the outer half of the plate, and he was extended right and turned on it, got around on it. Like it was a Judgian swing. I know that if you're an outside Yankee fan listener, that sounds dumb, but it's not. It's something majestic and powerful to it because it's a man who's built very differently doing it. So, yeah, right on time, man. Justin.
Yeah. Just in time. I believe there was a Frankie Muniz Disney Channel movie where he was he had like no legs and he was a boxcar racer called like Just in Time because his name was Just in Time.
I feel like it comes up every now and then. I feel like there was an NFL guy that was named Just in Time or something. Okay.
Maybe. Your first award?
I have 2 things I'd like to show you in relation to Aaron Judge. He just had a quote about the slide.
I slide like that for.
Is it a whole bunch of nothing?
You wanted me slide into second base. That's always happened. So I really don't know. I feel like there was plenty of time to either go around or, I'm just doing my job sliding into the base.
Did it get the fingers or the palm?
The fingers, the side of the fingers. So it kind of shocked me a little bit. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know where the ball went. And, glad everything was all right.
And then Talkin Yanks shared a compilation made by somebody else.
Rizzo grounds it hard to second, could be 2.
I'll put it on mute, but just Judge sliding, and he always sticks his hand up like that.
Yeah. A lot of runners do.
Yeah. So I don't know. Judge seems upset that they're saying now that not allowed, but
Public Judge.
I stand with Judge.
I mean, I stand with Judge too. Continue to slide like that. If the ball hits your hand, it's going to get called. But a lot of fielders are going to try and go around it.
Apparently not.
But this isn't a judge thing. Like, I mean, I did that whole Mets video where I watched people go into second base over and over and over again, and everyone does this.
I think that's a
Besides
normal
the
way
Mets.
to decide for anybody. Judge specifically also slides that way.
Well, I find a montage of him sliding in when a double play is not being turned, and I guarantee you his arms aren't up like that. Or
See-
that would be what you would need to tweet to get the reaction you're looking for.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that because that's how I used to slide. I don't know. Good award, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm on like a crazy delay and can't see you.
Okay.
Just to let you know. So
Got you. I am giving out, and this is the first time, if I'm not downloading things to my phone, you guys know, this is my first time I texted something to myself this year that I wanted to remember for an award. And I texted myself the Mixing Primary Colors Award.
mixing primary colors. That's cool
Right?
because that's how you can make other colors. It's a big part of it.
Nice.
Mixing primary colors award. Let's see. I don't know. Jemai Jones, is that who you're trying to give an award to?
Official guess,
probably
or are you
not.
fishing there?
That was not an official
Okay.
guess. I'm gonna go Glaber.
It's an okay guess because I just guessed it, which is my biggest pitch tipping. But the hint in there is mixing. It's going to Carlos Rodon. Jim, light bulb full went off for me. Initially, we fought the cutter a little bit from Rodon because it was
Yes.
like, hey, dude, you throw a fastball and a slider. A cutter is just a bad version of either of those. But the light bulb went off, Jim. That's what he's comfortable with. He's comfortable with throwing a fastball. He's comfortable with throwing a slider. When you mix those two primary colors together, you get the cutter. So he's comfortable with that pitch. So it wasn't his featured pitch. He actually threw the changeup more this past start. But it was just literally a light bulb moment for me that if a pitch is going to feel comfortable for Carlos, the cutter is going to be the pitch he's going to feel the most comfortable with because it's between his two primary colors.
Does make sense. And he's getting results with it. I still don't really understand the results they're getting because to me, like the placement of it, you know what? I don't know the pitch that Soto hit out in this first game 1 that he went oppo with. That was just like, what? I believe it was some spinning, maybe cutter-esque pitch on the up and away.
Game 1 was
And
a cutter.
It was?
Yeah.
So that's what scares me. I know Soto's a man amongst men when it comes to skill, but just living high in the zone with kind of like a not your best breaking pitch, but also not your best speed pitch. That recipe to me, I still don't really get it, but I have accepted that it works because Clark has found success with it.
Nestor.
Rodon, and it's just that slight little hesitation works.
And with any good pitch, Jim, you got to throw it with conviction. And I think
True.
the cutter, he's got a little bit of that.
Good award.
Thank you.
Good award. The Primary Colors Award.
Mixing.
And now, I mean, Rodon's numbers on the year, what are they now?
I think they're full blown good, and they still, they gave him that Rizzo, that Rizzo bonus. 2.48 ERA.
32 innings,
Yeah, it's
2.48 ERA. 32 and 2/3.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm in a little bit of tech hell over here.
Where do you think you're going for your last and final prestigious award?
I'm going to try and find a lane that I like. That maybe we haven't discussed yet.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Little Changes Award, a song by the great, what's his name? Why am I blanking on this?
Little Changes.
Frank Turner.
You love Frank Turner.
Is it Frank Turner?
Little Changes. Little Changes. Who could it be? Stroh has an interesting one.
Or
today.
Langhorne Slim? Langhorne Slim sings Changes. Frank Turner sings Little Changes.
Okay. So
So it'll be a Little
Turner's
Changes Award, which is a
Okay.
Frank Turner song.
Anthony Volpe.
Yes, it will be Anthony Volpe. Good guess. Why? Why, Jake? Why, Jake?
Well, Volpe's been his homer today is what makes him special, like that right center field power. Like it's again, very different ball players, but every MLB player can turn on a baseball and hit a home run. Not a lot of guys can really drive a ball to right center like that. And I don't know. It's funny. His series stats aren't impressive, but a lot of that is from a bad game one. He scores a couple runs in the final two games, but I guess everyone did. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what little changes you're seeing.
Well, I'm not seeing them, but I want to see them.
Okay.
Something really good about his home run is it came in his third at bat of the game. His third at bat against that starting pitcher. Only the second time this year he has a hit versus the starting pitcher the third time he sees him, which is amongst the lowest in all of baseball. And if he's leading off, he's going to see the starting pitcher a ton of times, the third time. So he's got to adapt to the little changes that they're going to be making. Right now, he's got, I think, the worst stats seeing a starting pitcher the third time through in the league.
Okay. I'm interested in that.
He was 118 OPS third time he sees a starting pitcher. But, the at-bats dwindle like crazy. Like Verdugo has only like 7 at-bats. He'll have more now in the 4-hole. But if he's in the leadoff spot, he's going to have the most at-bats on the team versus a starting pitcher third time through. You're supposed to excel at that. This was the first time he really got him. That was nice because statistically he had been one of the worst. So his OPS actually goes like first time he sees a starting pitcher, 814. Then the next 742, then the third 118. Now, obviously, a starting pitcher that stays in the game is not having a good game and good. So,
and he struggled a little more from the leadoff spot.
Yes, but a good pitcher that stays in the game to face you is a pitcher that's going to have changes.
Right.
So yeah, you got him the first time. He's going to come at you a little different. So let's just work on that. Something the Yankees as a whole aren't good at. I talked about that last episode, but he's particularly. I was looking at the numbers before his third at bat, and then he hit a homer, and I was like, all right. And he fucking smoked that ball. That was cool.
Yeah, Volpe hasn't been great against starters in general this year, but is this lifetime? No, this is this year, but he's crushed relief pitching.
Yeah. He got a walk. That was pretty huge.
Walk, hit by pitch. What was with them hitting Gary twice? Come on.
I didn't like that.
Nobody did. Good award.
Thank you.
Good award, Jim. Let's see. My final award. Taylor Trammell with a good series. I guess I'm going to stick with the painting theme. I'm going to go with the blending in award.
The blending in.
Blending in award.
Okay, blending in award. I will give that to Wells.
Ooh.
The catchers, both catchers.
No. It's going to Stanton.
Oh, okay.
It's going to Stanton. We had the Toronto series where, and then I think it leaked into Miami a little bit, whereas like Stanton showed he can be Stanton again, and we were all like, this is pretty sick. This is pretty cool. Since then, he's been solid. Like if you go back to April 8th, so that's not including Toronto, where he hit back-to-back games with home runs. He's been 255, 328, and 819 OPS, like very, very solid. But I guess why I bring it up, I feel like everyone is having games or stuff being noticed, like even Rizzo's 300th homer today, or like a lot of eyes on Judge, he's slumping, or Soto went nuts this game. I feel like Stanton, it's been a minute since we've had like a signature Stanton game. But I'm not saying this as like a bad thing because he's been okay.
It hasn't been a huge blemish.
No, it hasn't been
Just hasn't
too
been,
far
like,
either way.
noticeable
And
kind of
normally
period.
he's a guy that stands out.
Yeah, and like I think also he had like one swing and miss today. Forget what at bat it was, where I was like, he guessed wrong. And then I was like, we haven't seen that much of that lately. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess even when Stanton was like peak, he'd have crazy colds and crazy hots, and like he's been in the middle for 3 weeks, which is kind of fine.
He got the homer off the position player, so that's great news.
Yeah. Pinch hit double.
I was hoping, pinch hit, which again, my analytics team is kind of against the Stanton pinch hit stuff, but this one paid off.
Yeah, I was looking at those numbers. They are kind of really small.
It's like 4 for 42 or something at this point.
No, it's like 17. As a Yankee.
As a Yankee.
Yeah, he had more hits with Marlins though.
Gotcha.
I was gonna tweet it. I was like, that's only his second in blank at bats, and then I thought I would get roasted. The number of at bats it was, so I did not tweet it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Again, I think things are also situational too. That it was against a lefty, right? It was against like a soft throwing lefty, which that plays perfectly in the Stan's formula. So in my head, there should be a little more feel to some of the Stanton.
Career 4 for 42 as a Yankee. Now 2 for 16.
Yeah, again, like I think there are situations where Giancarlo Stanton will be a better option to pinch hit off the bench. I think the Yankees used it sometimes as like, look at this card we've got to play. And it's like, well.
Yeah. I don't know if Beebs can share these, but I just sent you videos of Judge sliding when he steals second. The arm doesn't go up. So it's kind of funny.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not like anti-Judge here. I'm just saying like everyone to break up a double play slides.
He doesn't slide that way when he's not trying to break one up, which is normal, but
yeah.
You got the vid?
I sent it. I texted it to the chat.
it's in the group. I don't know if I have a great way
You're
to
good,
show
Beebs,
him.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Good app.
Didn't
Yanks.
really
Big
talk
series against
Glaber.
Baltimore.
Bummer for
What?
him. Didn't really talk Glaber.
Well, it's stepping stone. Maybe let's see it continue. But there were some really good results for him.
Another guy that used to hit well in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Test.
Big
He was
series.
so good. All right. You're there. Goodbye. Love you. Go Yanks.
Go Yankees.